Right, very good evening right here on FSOP Live. It's been a bit of a while since we last saw you guys, so it's been something that it's been crazy, taking a sabbatical, taking it easy, and yes, today we're back, we're live, and you know how it generally goes. At times we have a couple of technical glitches, but you know what? We make sure that we actually sort some of these things out, and we make sure that we deliver on our promises, and that is the Godox way. And yes, I am your host here, Pakamani, and I hail all the way from the Eastern Cape. And today we are going to be delving into a bit of a world of the unknown. And when we talk about the unknown, we're talking about a world whereby we're going to be speaking with none other than the founder of my Body Counts campaign. And yes, I need to add a bit of a disclaimer as we go into the show tonight that some of the images that you're about to see may not be suitable for certain eyes, so this is something that we just need to put out there. But you know, nonetheless, it's something that we are going to look into. It's something that is somewhat provocative, somewhat controversial. Depends on how you see it, depends on how liberal you are as a person. But you know, one of the things that we do on this show is that we're here to actually speak to creatives, we are to speak to people that matter. So without further ado, and with time have already moved, in it being 20.7 and all, let me bring onto our screen none other than the founder himself of my Body Counts campaign, that is Mr. Bonga Ntuli. So let me just do this, you know, it's Godox way. So let me just bring onto the screen Bonga. How's it, bro? How are you doing?
Hey man, how you doing? Hey man, I'm good, man. How you doing, bruv?
I'm good. I'm just freezing out here in Pakamani. It's actually quite a bit bitterly cold. There's a bit of rain coming down at the moment, so it's quite chilly, and we can expect a bit of snow in and around surrounding areas. So yeah, but yeah, you know, with schools closing and all, so it's going to be nice and warm with the families, and maybe also good time to take some pictures. But you know, as I said, welcome to FSOP Live, and we've just been on a bit of a production break, and this evening we're back, and we're back with you. So I'm going to give you the platform to introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, and we just delve right into the conversation.
All right, first and foremost, my name is Bonga Ntuli. I currently reside Pakamani. I am 34 years of age. I am a graphic designer, illustrator, and photographer. I am a lover of the arts. I am a lover of all things creative. I am a creative being through and through, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, creative being through and through. So that is something that we love most. And yeah, so tell us in terms of your love for art, because you know we're speaking to you as an artist, because as you say, you're a graphic designer and you're a photographer. So yeah, tell us about a bit more about who you are as a graphic designer and what you got you into graphic designing.
Oh man, okay, like typical story. Growing up, I grew up drawing. I love drawing. And then then as a kid, I also used to play around and mess around with paint. And
Okay.
not sure if you remember a magazine called Blunt Magazine. It's
Which one?
basically a Blunt Magazine, which was
Okay.
essentially a magazine street culture pertaining to skateboarding, BMXing, and
Right.
they would have these dope illustrations and like dope graphics, and I'm like, and I would cut out pictures and put them and I'll stick them on my school books, and I would also try and emulate that style.
Okay.
And it was through that I wanted to get into graphic design, and this was like well over 20 years ago, actually. Like as far back as grade 7, I knew what I wanted to do. And then through that, I've read, I used to read a lot of One Small Seed. I still have my issues of One Small Seed. Like there's a lot that has actually inspired my journey in graphic design, actually. So yeah.
All right. So basically, you've grown up reading quite a bit and taking yourself into destinations. Are there any books that you currently reading by any chance?
Geez, I actually haven't read a book in a while, but I could recommend. Like, I mean, Love. I'm watching Logo Design. Love is a great book. It is a great read. I think that's like the only book I could think of right now. I'm terrible, and what's even worse is that I love reading, but I haven't been reading as of much as of. I've been reading a lot because I've been very busy.
Okay. So yeah, one of the things that I appreciate generally about reading is the fact that it's not just the book, but it's basically what the book really does, which is to take you to places generally that wouldn't go, and you find this okay. And then that's where I think also the creative process come in. It says, okay, from the description, from what I'm reading, this is what I can actually draw, and then from drawing, this is what I can actually put on a PC, and from there on, you find yourself just in a different world sort of space. So that is something that for me, it's always just in general, I was like, this like can work. And yeah, reading is just one of those things where, whether we like it or not, is that we'll always be on a journey somehow. And that journey will always represent something, So, and yeah, from there on, you did you do a course in graphic design, or it was more of natural sort of style? And
I actually did. I in 2010 I took a course in Damlin, and then later on Damlin broke away, and then the graphic design course broke away from Damlin, and it became Elmi. I was mentored and tutored by the likes of Lisa van Wyk, Anita Wood, and Matthew Murray. I studied from 2010 up until 2012. So yeah, I did take a course for it, but it's something that I've always been interested in.
Okay, great. That's something that I think also viewers actually really like is, the one thing that we speak about as people is that people can be talented, but at times you find that in order for people to sort of authenticate, inverted commas, they need some sort of assurance. And then you say, but, I'm not just an artist, but I'm actually someone who's qualified, and people are like, oh, gobsmacked, because there's always somewhat of the misconception that as artists, people are not as qualified as we'd actually think they are. So also kudos to you. So guys, Bonga is a person who's qualified. It's not just a person who's just, oh, I'm Bonga, that sort of thing. So your graphic design, which one came first, the graphic designing or the photography?
Graphic design came first, actually. It was actually, technically, if you want to get technical, it was the illustration first and then the graphic design. The photography came last.
Okay. And what could we say attributed to you feeling a sense that, oh, okay, listen, there's something that I can actually do here, so let's do something, So,
in terms of photography?
Yes, what sparked the photography side, yes.
Well, basically, there were two movies that I actually enjoy watching. The one movie is The Bang Bang Club.
Right.
They made, those dudes made photojournalism look awesome. They were badass at what they did. Obviously, they came with some risks. It came with some, it was just like boom. And another film that also inspired me to get into photography was City of God. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. It also has a lot to do with photojournalism. It's about a young boy living in the favelas in Brazil, and he would capture what goes on in Brazil, through his lens, through his eyes. And I'm like, no, this is actually pretty. It was something that I dabbled in varsity. It wasn't something I've taken seriously until a few years after I left varsity. It was something just mainly for school assignments, really. Okay. So yeah.
So you basically also went the Mark Zuckerberg route, where your inspiration was, okay, I'm in school and I'm actually fascinated by these things, and then opportunities come, and it's like, who am I to let go of such an opportunity, kind of situation. So
yeah.
You have a similar story. Okay, nice. And yeah, I do have a comment here that I need to put up. And yeah, that's from Damien. And Damien says, the man, the myth, the legend, Bonga Ntuli. So that's a really great hi from Damien there. All right. All right, so we also do have another one here. It says, "My bro, massive Housed, my former Eastern Cape homie, Bongs, my dude, great to see you, man." So
Away, fam.
yeah, there's a whole lot of great love that is actually, and they're saying, you know what? Also have a user here also saying, hello from Utenake. So quite a number of people are looking and tuning, saying, you know what, Bonga, as much as I said, we did have some technical glitches, but we're here and people are showing love.
Yeah.
And it's really great for people to say, you know what, big ups to you. We speak about photography, speaking about graphic design. And yeah, so tell us about, you're in a hybrid industry because on one end you have to design stuff in terms of the graphic design side, and then on the other hand you have to go out and capture things. So how would you say you balance between graphic designing and photography?
Okay, let me just be real now. First, like, I haven't been shooting in over 2 weeks now because like my camera died a natural death, and of course, like there's a lot of factors, man. There's a lot of factors as to like I haven't been shooting as much, but at the time when I've been shooting, there's at the time that I've been shooting, was very important that I balance it out. Like, in terms of time management, in terms of priorities, in terms of, because that's the thing. The thing about me is that I tend to be hyper fixated on one thing at a time.
All
Does
right.
that make sense? So it's very important that it's very important that like one or the other, either profession, like I have to put in 100. Like there's no half stepping, there's no, it's just like I have to give in 100. I have to give 100, and I mean, I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but like it's very like it's just that like it's very important that I balance it out so that I don't prioritize the one or the other, So it's kind of like giving your kids an equal amount of love, So yeah.
Okay. Love it. And one of the things I love even more apart from everything. Okay, Ryan is saying Ryan's sending a lot of love on his side. Ryan Abbott sending love, all the great vibes and all great gents. And yeah, Ryan, I think you might know Ryan from East London, as well.
Yeah. We're together. We're only together.
There we go. So yeah, it's always great to see people just showing love and saying, you know what, I know that guy. He's on screen. I know him. I've been around. So it's always great to actually have that kind of love. And yeah, we're talking about photography, and you came up with a concept. So the concept that we're going to speak about is My Body Counts. How did that concept come about?
Oh man, dude, it's actually it's a long story, but I'll do my best to give you an abridged version of it. So, I would say that like I was influenced by two photographers at the time. That would be Mark Fredericks and what's her name? And Jono. Yeah, Jono from Cape Town.
All right.
Now, for Mark Fredericks, he did a thing called African Muses, and this was, I want to say, 2016. And I remember, and at the time, this was something that has never been done in East London before,
Right.
And the way that he captures women, the way that he captured women, I was just like, yo, this is something that I would love to do one day. And then my other friend, Jono, right? He did a photo shoot in which there were 5 women. I mean, no, I lied. I can't remember there were 5, but he had women, different shapes and sizes, like sitting on a couch, all of them in the nude. And I was just, and it also inspired me. And I was like, I would love to create something like that one day. And it was just something, and I was just like, wait, what's stopping me from? So then obviously I reached out to him, and initially it was supposed to be 5 plus size women on that was, I wanted to have like, and then I remember speaking, and I remember asking someone, like I was asking around, and then I remember I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and then this friend was like, wait, why not also include slender women, because they matter too. And I
Okay.
was like, no, actually, you're all right. So that's the name. They matter too. Hence, they, you know what I mean, their bodies count too. So hey, my body counts. My body matters. So my body counts.
All
So
right.
that's how it came. That's how it came into fruition. Like in July, July of 2017. That's when it came. That's when it came into fruition. So yeah.
Okay. So basically, no, I love that because, as you said, you were inspired by someone, and we actually did have Mark on the show a couple of weeks ago before we went on our production break, and we also just got some insight from him, and we spoke about the African muses, and I think he's having now an exhibition around it. Have you had any exhibitions with some of your work?
Like I've been meaning to, and I've been wanting to, but again, finances, and then also we were also dealing with the pandemic. You
Okay.
know the, oh, the
Hey,
Rona, dude. So
yeah, it
oh,
struck us really hard.
yo, big time,
Yeah,
and
it struck us.
yeah, it was just and then it was just like, and then I think later on, like the priorities got in the way. Life happened, and something that I would like to revisit one day.
Okay.
I would like to, but like I'll see, but it is something that I'll definitely like to look into one day. So yeah.
Yeah, because I think exhibitions, I see that post COVID, some of the people are starting to say, you know what, there's work that I did and it had meaning. And, one of the things that I'll also harp on is the fact that some people find what you do to be extremely challenging. And
Mm,
now, challenging in the sense that there are different perceptions that people have about the style
mm.
of photography. But at the same time, how do you like, what was your approach when someone said, I hear you coming with a campaign that says my body counts and it's for body positivity, but for me to
Mm.
be nude, now maybe that's going to be a bit of a challenge. So what would you say was the one swaying factor that got people to buy into the campaign?
All right. So like one of the things that's very important to me is that at the end of the day, each muse now is a woman. Every muse that I've shot with is a mother first.
All
Um,
right.
they they are mothers first. They are daughters first. They are sisters first. They are
Mm,
somebody's daughter. That is somebody's wife. That is somebody's. That is the first thing, right? And another
right.
thing is that one of the most important things is about capturing nude photography is just like you need to represent her the best way that you can. Like you need to make sure that she looks like art. You need to portray her as art. You need to celebrate her as art, and it will reflect in your work. And that is
Mm,
one of the things that's very important to me. That like I will always keep at the back of my mind. It's just like she has to like I don't want it to look something out of a sleazy site or a sleazy magazine. Like
mhm.
like that's the thing. The most important thing is that like she is the focal point. She is the masterpiece. Hence the muse.
Right.
So that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, it's the art. It's a composition. The composition always comes first. So
Mm,
I
mm.
always keep that at the back of my mind. So yeah.
All right. Because there is a picture as well where I saw on your Instagram page in terms of the campaign itself, where you did have,
Yeah.
I assume, as a couple or friends, where it was a male and a female that
Yeah.
were on, and I was like, okay, uh, it's not really, how can I put it? It's not popular per se, where you find that males would say they buy into such a thing, but yet you
Yeah.
got a situation where you were able to involve that. And you know, how do you think? How was that experience in terms of working now with both male and female? Because some people would be like, no, he just wants to work with females, but yet here are pictures as proof that you work with both male and female.
You know, the thing is that what's funny is that it's funny because like I've actually been working out. I've started working out for over a year now. I'm actually part of the gym life now. Um, the thing is that what I'm bringing to is that like men also go through body dysmorphia. Like
All
we
right.
also like I remember going to school, changing off the physics, sucking my gut in. You know, I
Mm.
remember those days, you know, and it's just that like I've also had guys who would criticize me and say, "Hey, look, I like what you're doing, but you also got to give men a platform." And it's something that in hindsight, like I would have I've done more male photography, you know.
Mm.
And it's also this weird ass stigma, one which I'm bringing to as well, you know, like guys are gonna be weird and they'll be like, you know how dudes are, you know, like I don't want to. You're gonna be capturing naked men. I mean, you know how it is, dude.
Mm.
But
Mm.
like there is this weird stigma, you know. But like I feel that like I think in future I would like to represent. Like if I ever do get into the project again, like I would like to put men into like just make sure that men's insecurities and they so-called flaws are also acknowledged because it's something
All
that we
right.
also go through. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that is important. It's a part of a dialogue that a lot of people also don't just want to get into. And I do want to put up a picture that you
Mm-hmm.
have taken. And,
Mm-hmm.
the reason I'm also putting it up, I did put a bit of a disclaimer because a lot of people said, they would feel a sense of, you know what, no, they're showing nudity and whatnot. So I'll just bring this up onto the stream as well so
All
that
right.
people can actually see, some of the work that you do, you know.
All right.
And there was this particular picture where it's like a bit of shadows and highlights. And one of the things that we often don't really speak about when it comes to people is how
Mm.
phenomenal it is, to actually see someone embracing their body. So can you take us through this particular picture?
Oh man, like I really wanted to get into the essence of. I just wanted to bring it back home with this one. Like I've always been fascinated by the work of Peter Paul Rubens
Okay.
and Helmut Newton, and I wanted to like that's the thing. I wanted to with this one. I really wanted to celebrate melanin. I wanted to bring in chic and fine art. Like this one was just like, like I mean, I don't really have a story for this shot, if I have to be honest. But it was just
Mm.
one of those moments where it was one of those hold that pose moments, and yeah. Like I don't
Okay.
have I really don't have like a walkthrough. It was just like literally like we were just working with natural light. It was just
Mm-hmm.
like that's the thing, and I'm working with the dingy Fujifilm X46 100 camera. So
All right.
that's all we were working with. We weren't working with any other equipment other than the sun and the camera. So yeah.
So it was basically, just work it. But most importantly, the message that we're sending through is that, if one does not embrace the body, no one else will
Mm,
embrace it on their behalf. And with
mm,
that, it's also a matter of understanding, that as a
yeah,
person, first and foremost,
yeah,
your body belongs to you. And something that you said that is extremely profound as well, when you spoke about yourself, we go through, like as you said, when you go for phys ed and someone has something to say about your body and you start feeling a sense of becoming insecure, you start feeling a sense of, do I really matter? What do people see? Do they actually see me? Do they see, what is it that they see that actually makes me human? So I
mm,
think that is one of the things, if I'm not mistaken, are some of the takeaways is the fact that when you look into a picture such as this, is that the greatest takeaway is I am a human first and foremost. And with
mm,
me being human, there are definitely certain imperfections that come about. So there's one thing that I actually wanted to hit on, and a lot of people at times don't speak about this one, is what's your take on stretch marks?
stretch marks a roadmap. Like I've always have this thing. Every mark tells a story. And not stretch marks are dope. Like stretch marks are like that's the thing. I don't understand how people can be put up by stretch marks. I love that. That's the thing. It's like as you know, that's the thing. It just shows the years. It shows the journey that your body has gone through. I mean, hell, like even when I've been working out, like you'd also get stretch marks from gaining muscle as well. And like it like basically tells a story of how far you've come or where you're at right now. Okay, I'm being philosophical with all of this thing, but I don't know, stretch marks are generally beautiful, man.
All right. So yeah, that's something that I've picked up that a lot of people, when they speak about stretch marks, it's like, you stretch marks, and we see a lot of adverts and they like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. But also tell us on the cosmetic side of photography, how much of you prefers natural look versus makeup?
Oh, I think it depends on the theme that I'm going for.
Okay.
Like it depends, like whether I would need more makeup or not, or how much makeup I'm gonna get. Like it varies.
Okay.
Like there are gonna be times when yeah.
All right. Okay. No, I'm following. All right. So
also, there's just something that yeah. No, sorry.
I'm a fan of makeup, and at times I do feel a sense that ooh, but then again, it actually leads me to my next question. Where you prefer ambient natural light, or are you more or less like, okay, no, flash photography, especially off-camera flash, that's it for me. So as much as generally you're hybrids, but which side would you say you lean more towards?
I lean towards more natural light.
All right. And any particular reason, maybe?
I don't know. It's just like I guess I'm used working with natural light.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I just prefer. I don't know. I've always loved working with natural light.
All right.
Like that's the thing. As long. Yeah.
As long as you're saying, as long
as it's before 12 or on a cloudy day.
Oh, so you prefer a cloudy day. So basically, the weather you're currently having in East London, that's more or less right now what you'd be going for. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. It's like honesty. And then black and white or color, and why?
Color, man. Color.
I go the opposite. Funny enough.
Yeah.
I'm more of a black and white person. I'm like, oh, okay, if we're doing this, we're doing it. Yeah. I just prefer it because at times I feel that color can blur quite a couple of things. At times you might find that just one certain color in your shot ruins it. And you find you're going for a nice little pitch perfect green, and then boom, a little pink paper flies past, and it's like, it didn't really add to the shot, but it actually took away from your shot. So when it's monochrome, it's like, oh, okay, everything looks in balance, and it's more you're embossing your subject somewhat. So it's something like that, But yeah, I'm going to move on to another thing is that how much do you shoot with family? In the sense that, how many family shoots do you do, like your own family, like apart from external family, but your own family?
I kind of did not a shoot per se, but I did do a shoot at my my grandmother's 80th birthday last year.
Okay.
But like at the time I had to work. Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was saying big ups to her. 80 is a great milestone.
No. I'm actually in the process of watching my 600 pound life with her, actually.
Okay.
So yeah. No. We roommates. So you could say that we roommates. But like. But at the time, I was like, I had to work with my phone because, like, my camera's out of action, so it was. It is what it is, eh?
That brings me to my next comment. So we also have a user who says the following: this dude could shoot a masterpiece with a pinhole camera. That's how much of appreciation, people actually see through your work. And that's a comment right there. You see it on the screen. It's not me writing these things. People are just saying, we love Bonga. Bonga is a masterpiece. I mean, that dude could shoot a masterpiece with a pinhole camera. So the one thing that I like, and I said, you said you've taken it with your phone, you haven't had your camera, but the one thing that we love is the fact that it hasn't stopped you from being creative. I've seen quite a lot of people, upgrades are good, fair enough, but you find that they upgrade because they believe that it actually matches their skill, as over and above the fact that, the skill matters more than the actual camera. So knowing how to use it kind of generates the greater thing. So you work on composition. You work on understanding light, where it's coming from, and what you're going to do. So, for instance, right now, for a lot of people that are watching, I do have like a 2-light setup going on. However, there's a bit of a light that's coming on from my left, and it's actually casting a bit of a shadow just right there at the back. So, if I actually killed off that light, if I did something like this, so okay, I got a bit dark because my main light is like that. So my main light is back on, So these are the things that some people just don't understand about light. So tell me something. Give us a story. Yeah, give us a story of when you had to calm down a client that didn't understand your creative direction from the shoot they wanted.
Do I have a... Okay, wait. I actually have a funny story that I'd like to share, if it's okay.
By all means.
All right, cool. So this happened in 2018, right? This happened on Sunday 2018. And all right, just out of just for protection purposes, I'm not gonna say what the name of this muse. So yeah. So we were shooting at Nahoon Reef. Now, are you familiar with Nahoon Reef?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's where I used to do most of my NBC shoots, right? So then it was me and Sid Muse. No. Like for context, she's a middle-aged white woman. And also like due to the work that she does, I can't publish them. So yeah, it is what it is. But there was this couple that was way ahead of us. And this couple went on to do couple things. That's up, you come now. Right. So then like no shame, and like she was just like, oh, I wonder what they're doing, and I was like, oh, don't worry, I know what they're doing. Yeah. So then now this couple, now they finished doing what they were doing. Now first the lady walks past us now. And then the bro walks past me and he sees my muse now. So now he looks at me, he looks at my muse. Now, mind you, my muse is she's still nude. She's still in the nude, she's still naked now. And then he looks at me and he thought that
you're doing basically the same thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course, that's the thing. And he thought that like I was a middle-aged woman, and he thought that I was securing the bag. So yeah.
Stranger things have happened. Just lost one of my lights, but fortunately I'm still on. No, definitely that was also going to lead me to my next question. In terms of the work that you do, because like with that perception, do you actually sign contracts with your muse? Do you have let's say meetings before shooting? How does it really work? Because the one thing that we have in South Africa, because you mentioned another thing in terms of the story, in terms of what you can and can't publish, as we have the Poppy Act. So how do you generally get around the Poppy Act, and do you have meetings with said muses that you work with?
Like that's the thing. Like we would always disclose like we'd also sit and I would let her know like which images would I be allowed to publish and which I would not allow to be published.
All right.
And basically, like so basically, I would just like obviously, I would just like I would just sit down and I would just close with them, like how would it be safe, and like basically basically I would just let them know that okay, so like this is the situation. Yeah. So sorry, man. My mind's a little blurred, man. I'm just having a kind of long as day. But basically, right, and then if if I do post a picture that they're or an image that they're not happy with, or some time passes, and then they're like, like if time would pass eventually. Now, like if they get a new job, if they get a new partner, then they would ask me to take it down. So I
All
would
right.
respect their wishes, like like, hey, look, my partner's not happy with me, or hey, I just started a new job, or hey, like, and I would like, and I would obviously take them down out of respect, and like that's the thing. I just do my best to make sure that I get their consent, and or if they go like I've also had some of them would be like, I know you can still post, just don't tag. So yeah.
No, definitely. It's something that I believe in the industry that has either worked well or unfortunately has had a bit of a backspin for some of the ladies or even the gents. Because one of the things that, we try and avoid in this in the media space is a person not feeling exploited. Like when I was about to do the show and someone asked me, it's like, in terms of anything that you're going to publish, do you have permission to do that? I said, yeah. One of the things we do is we first have a conversation before we have the show, because we also
No,
need people to understand that their rights are being respected and they're being protected. And yeah, you also hit something really a nail on the head as well. The type of professions that some people actually get into. And I normally say, if I shoot content similar to yours, is what are you going to, why do you need the picture? And the reason I ask that question is so that understanding that the person is a working professional, so there are certain things that they can and can't engage in. And if they do engage in that, so then we find a situation where I go for an interview and the next thing they say, well, tell us about now this work. And you're like, okay, awkward.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation as to like why I've also been slowing down with NBC. Like I remember my mom and I, while she does somewhat support the project now. Like I remember I made a post on projects and she, umama being umama now, she was just like, we had a whole back and forth, and then and I always tell her art, and she was like, yes, I know that your employees know that it's art, and that stuck.
Yeah,
and that actually stuck with me. There's a location that's needed, when it comes to such photography. But what I will say is that, like, what I will say is, that I think as of late, it's one of the reasons why I'm still somewhat mostly just upping here and there, but like it's also one of the reasons why I've decided to just fully immerse myself in design.
And tell me something. I think this is going to be one of our wrap-up questions. Has your NBC project ever, had a bit of negative bearing when it comes to your relationships?
I can't talk about that here. But no, shame. My lady is she is very supportive. Like my lady is very supportive of the project. But that's the thing. But like it's also one of the reasons why I'm like, just like I'm just gonna just slow it down a bit. But like there've been some hiccups here and there. But like it comes to the territory, and it's also one of the reasons why I've just slowed down a bit. So yeah.
Okay. So apart from NBC, what other stuff have you might have lined up for the immediate future or just the future in general?
Yo, like, just keep your eyes peeled. Just like at this point in time, I'm just focusing on design. I've just been working on some projects I can't really disclose. I can't really say, but
Okay.
it's really exciting though. And yeah, look, hopefully maybe one day I'll get back into photography. It's the one medium that I miss. Speaking of which, man, like, hey, look, like, not to bring down the festivities, man, but like, I just want to send a special shout out to my late boys, Enrico and Lyle DeFree. They also had a hand in my photography, and like, yeah, no, man, they inspired me immensely, man. May they rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace. And also shout out to Roxanne Wenzel, shout out to Dane, shout out to Rion Oosthuizen, shout out to Kick Push, shout out to Ryan, shout out to Vaughn, Yo, so like there's a lot of cats that have influenced me. Shout out to Jono, shout out to Cheslin, shout like the EL photography community at large. Shout out to Damien for hooking me up, man. No bullshit. Also, like, yo, man, mad love to you, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. No, thank you very much for this interview. It's been actually quite insightful. As I said, one of the things is that it's one of the most sensitive sort of projects that a person can actually work on. It's very easy for people to misinterpret intentions when it comes to this type of project. And I like the fact that you call it a project so that people can really understand is that there's a greater
Yeah,
meaning and message behind, someone just being
yeah,
rude. You mentioned your own story, as I said, now going back into the situation, how you
yeah.
actually also get in up in gym and so forth. So generally, I wish you all the best. Especially, I would definitely love for you to actually have that exhibition, even if it's a sip and craft type of situation, arts and culture. If they're listening, coming through and saying, you know what, Bonga is doing great and phenomenal work. And, it's not just about MBC only, but just being a general creative, because as I said, you're a graphic designer one side, you are a photographer the other side, and then it's just you as a person, So again, thank you very much for availing yourself. And hoping for future endeavors in terms of communications and just getting this thing. And yeah, just as a last question, yeah, I hope I don't get heartbroken by your response. But brand
Sure,
wise
man.
and camera brand wise, which one was actually doing it for you?
Um, I'm gonna have to go with Fuji. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm a Fuji. Okay, you saw the fist bump there. I'm
Oh
also a
yeah.
Fuji.
All right. Stop.
Film simulations and all of that, working with light,
Right.
whatever
Yeah.
you can create, that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
big ups
Yeah.
to you. And yeah, that sort of thing. But again, as I said, thank you very much for availing yourself. And as you saw yourself in terms of some of the comments coming through, mad love for you and people just saying, what, this guy is a master craft at his craft. And, even through a pinhole camera, he can actually just create something, so also mad love from the community, mad love from my side, from FSOP Live. And yeah, thanks again for everything that you do. So yeah, and yeah, thank you. As I say, is it gracias? Yeah, gracias.
Yeah.
We
Gracias.
learn
Yeah.
languages.
All good,
Yeah,
man.
thank you all good. Thank you very much for that, Bonga. And yeah, that is us actually wrapping it up here on FSOP Live. It has been quite a nice and warm, hot show. And the one thing that we've had Bonga, and he's been really great. We've had one of my lights actually just say, you know what, just battery down, so I didn't actually charge it as much as I needed to. But one of the things that is exceptionally great is the fact that whenever we talk to creatives, we always learn something. And so yeah, next week we're going to be back on, and it's just going to be continuous and showing much love to creatives. And the only way you know how, the brand that matters is Godox SA, so go through to our page and you can shop there with www.godox.co.za, and you can use coupon code Pakamani. Get yourself a nice sweet discount, 5% on your purchase, and live at large. And very happy. And one of the things that is coming soon is the new and improved Godox 8200 Mark II, and already also coming on its way in terms of the stock is 8600 Pro as well. And we also got the Godox X3. It's already in stock. So hey, you know what? Godox endless probabilities there, and you just go in store and go www.godox.co.za, and also you can sign up for free training, which happens regularly, and you can see us in a town nearest to you when we actually say the Godox way. But as all things, if they don't come to an end, they say, all good things come to an end. And that is me needing to sign out. But I'll definitely catch you next week, Thursday, as we'll have another guest and engaging more. And it's a wrap from me. It's a good night. And thank you very much for watching. And to Mr. Ntuli, thank you very much, sir, for availing yourself and teaching us a bit about your MBC project, My Body Counts. And remember, guys, it's all about body positivity. It's all about positive minds, and always about exploring the greater things and the finer things in life. And yes, as I said, it's time for me to sign out. And thank you. It's been great. And that is Operation Night today, right here on F-Stop Live. And we say good night and see you next week, Thursday. And it's a wrap.
I want the sun.
Operation Night today.
Copy that.
Only your future is brighter than us.